and welcome to another episode of Cosmic Conversations. I am your hostess, Marla Martenson, and today we're going to talk money with Chellie Campbell. Hey, Chellie.
Hey, Marla. Good to see ya.
You too. So Chellie's the author of From Worry to Wealthy. We don't want to worry anymore. We want to just worry about how much money we've got to count.
Yeah, how am I going to spend all this money? That's the high-class quality problem I want.
I want it. I love it. So we're going to Chellie's going to talk to us about 10 stupid things people do to mess up their money. And now that we're coming into a new year, a lot of people make New Year's resolutions. I'm going to not spend. So that's one of mine. Is I'm not going to spend so much. I'm the kind of girl who spends money on online courses or seminars or crystals or more certifications. I don't go buy a lot of clothes and stuff, but it adds up. And when I went back and looked, I'm like, I spent thousands. So, I really could have saved a lot more. So what are some of the 10 stupid things we do? And, if we see it, if we name it, we're more aware, I think we can do something about it, right?
Yeah. Well, I kind of did this list as a joke. I was writing my first book, The Wealthy Spirit, which is a page a day for every day of the year. And a girlfriend of mine had published her own book and was really great at getting on TV shows and stuff. So she calls me up and she says, a producer needs somebody for the Dr. Laura show. Contact him right now. And I immediately froze, picture deer in the headlights. I went, wait, I'm not ready. My book isn't ready yet. It's not out yet. I shouldn't be doing this. She goes, Chellie, and being on national television would be bad for you because... Right. And I went, oh, okay, the opportunity is now. I better jump in. So I contact the producer, and she says, great, you're in, you're wonderful. Now call me back in a couple of hours with 6 minutes of fun stuff that you'll do with Dr. Laura. What? I'm getting on a plane in 2 hours to go to Las Vegas with my poker buddies. And I'm like going, think of 6 minutes? I thought these interviews went, you showed up and they asked you questions and you answered them, and it was going to be just easy. And now I have to write a television segment.
Yes.
And I'm going, damn, what am I going to do? So I did some research on Dr. Laura, and she had done these books, 10 stupid things women do to mess up their love life or whatever. So I went, okay, 10 stupid things people do to mess up their money.
Yeah.
So I have my idea. So now I brainstorm on the plane. I get into a poker game, and I'm brainstorming in the poker game. Okay, what are 10 stupid things you do to mess up your money? And they're like, oh, well, play poker.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. So we're coming up with some funny stuff. So I call the producer at the appointed hour and let her know what my list is. And she says, oh, that sounds fun. And she gets approval from Dr. Laura. So I'm set. So then it's like everybody's dream of being on TV. The limo picks you up at your house and they take you to the set and you have your own private little dressing room with a little star and your name on the door. It was just so fun. So now, 2 minutes before I go on, the producer comes in and said, we're almost ready for you. And just so you know, Dr. Laura is going to read the 10 stupid things and then look for you to explain or respond to them. Again, I go, wait, I thought I got the easy part and I got to read the list and it was going to, now I have to be creative on, okay. All right. So here's the list that we came up with. Number 1, buy clothes that are too small because the diet is really going to work this time.
That's right.
Guilty, anybody? Spend 2 hours driving 40 miles to use the 10-cent coupon. Right? Anybody?
Well, so on this one, I don't even use coupons, and my husband says that I should to save money. So if you have them, we should use them, but not drive to waste gas to use them.
Yeah, exactly. And, well, the other thing is, A friend of mine did a seminar on marketing your business, and she goes, who clips coupons? And everybody goes, oh, smart money manager, I'm clipping coupons. She said, stop that right now. She said, spend another hour that you would have spent on clipping coupons on your marketing plan.
Yeah, just make more money
pay
instead
off
of
in bigger dollars, isn't it?
Good idea.
Yeah. Okay. Here's number 4. Forget to notice when the 3.9 credit card increases to 23.9.
Yes, they slip that right in there so fast, don't they?
They do, and they don't tell you about it. They don't like to tell you about it. They just let it happen, and suddenly you're paying all this money, and you're going, what?
And also to add to that, reoccurring payments. I had a reoccurring payment that's the way it for something, a course, and I didn't want it that way, but that's the way they did it, and it was coming up, and I went in there in Skype, and I couldn't find it. I Googled, how do you stop the reoccurring payment, and I did it, and that I would have been charged over $100, so I saved right there. Yeah.
If they really make it tough when you sign up for the automatic payment, they tend to go on forever, and they make it really hard for you to connect with them to stop it. I hate that. Okay, number 5. Get a second mortgage to pay off the credit cards, and then charge the credit cards up again.
That's the problem with paying off credit cards sometimes when you borrow money to do it, because you have to deal with why you charged it up so far in the first place, that issue in you, your self-esteem, your bad spending habits, because then you charge it back up.
And it's a habit.
Yes.
We're run by habits all the time. So if your unconscious habit pattern is to spend more than you make, it won't matter how much you make.
Right.
You'll always find yourself spending more.
Yes. And you'll just be running yourself ragged.
So, of course, I'm going to spend that money because I have it. Yeah. All right. Oh, number 6. Believe you can make millions just working a couple of hours in your spare time on an MLM, right?
Oh, yeah. Those MLM. I've tried it a couple times in my life and quickly got out because that's not my personality type to do that kind of business.
Well, I'll tell you, I've worked with a lot of people in my classes on MLMs, and they can be wonderful. They'll train you, they'll teach you all kinds of marketing and strategies and sales skills. The problem is you really have to get conscious. It's not going to be a couple of hours. It's like any business. You're going to work at it really hard if you're going to be successful. And you've got to know what the job is. In an MLM, to be successful, you're a sales manager of other sales people.
Yes.
I knew a friend who was working Amway for about 10 years, and I said, well, what's the bottom line on these things anyway? She said, Chellie, the real bottom line is that somehow, somewhere, somebody has got to sell soap. Yeah? You're making a fraction of a percentage of a commission on the sale of a soap product.
Right.
That's how they began anyway, was soap. So they have a lot of products. So number 7, spend $200 on something they don't need, but they save $30 because it was on sale. And all they talk about is the $30 they save.
Yes. And you know what? It's so funny because I'll go in some stores and you look at the price tag on a shirt or whatever, and it says originally, and then the price. It was never originally that. They just printed that,
Of course. I mean, everybody knows that now. There's no original. Nothing's ever put on sale for the original price.
Right.
It's always less. Because women love this, especially men don't care so much. But women love to be able to say, like, if you compliment my sister's earrings or her shirt, she'll say, oh, it was only $10 at Target. Or,
we have to say how much we spent.
And what a smart money manager am I?
Right. Yes. Yeah. That's
okay. Oh, number 8, I love this one. Marry somebody without asking the amount of their credit card debt, school loans, alimony, or child support.
Oh, yes.
People do not have the financial conversation. They want to avoid that, but we're in love. It's not about the money. But you know what? In life, it's a partnership. It's a contract, and you better care about the money. And I had a woman in my class years ago, I'll never forget it. She thought she had won the lottery when she got married. Her husband was an attorney and made $300,000 a year. After the wedding, she finds out that $200,000 of that goes to the ex-wife and the child support.
Oh boy.
And he had $100,000 in credit card debt.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you've got to know, and you're responsible too if they mess up with their money if you're married, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it was funny when I was on the Dr. Laura's show. At this point, I remember because she was reading the things and I was responding. And previously in the show, she had a conversation about whether you should marry for love or for money, and everybody was saying love and love and love. And when she said this one, I said, yeah, well, this is when you marry for money and not for love. Like that second one, so that got a big laugh at the time. It was fun. Okay, here's number 9. This is important too. Work 20 years at a job you hate just to get the retirement benefits.
Oh, yes. Some people work 30, 40 years at a job that just they dread going to. I think if you have to say, oh God, it's Monday, or thank God it's Friday, you're not in the right work if you're dreading.
That's true. And you may not live that long either. They did a survey years ago about, they were looking for the common denominator with people who had heart attacks before the age of 40. Mm-hmm. And they had big ones, fat ones, small ones, men, women, everything. They couldn't find any common denominator other than the fact that they all hated their job.
Wow. Yeah. And they say the most heart attacks are Monday morning. That's when most people have their heart attack, is when they just would rather drop dead than go to another day at their job.
Yeah, and they mostly happen at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yes. That anxiety.
Our brain, our belief system controls everything. It
right.
Really does.
And I think and the point to this is, somebody will say, well, I have to work. What am I going to do? But if we're smart about our money and save, you don't have, you can quit a job that you hate and then have a cushion or start something on the side or go do something else because you've got this cushion.
You know what? You don't even have to have a cushion. If you have a burning passion and you're willing to do what it takes, you just go.
Yeah.
You just go for it. And you learn all kinds of things about what you have to do to make it happen. It's good to have a plan.
Yeah.
And some reasonable expectation. Like when I first launched my workshop business, I had owned a bookkeeping service company. And I had 13 employees, and I had a lot of clients who couldn't read a financial statement. Mm-hmm. And so I started, instead of just mailing them the statements that they put in a drawer for their accountant, I started meeting with them and saying, here, this is what's going on in your statement. Mm-hmm. And I want you to understand, if you look at subsequent years and before what happened, you can see where you might be getting out of alignment with your expenses, or that there's a hidden way to be more profitable that you're not paying attention to. So when 3 of my clients in the same week that I had meetings with like that said, you should teach this, I kind of perked up and looked around and went, yeah, financial literacy isn't taught in our school system.
Right.
So I said, okay, I'm going to teach it. Oh, how am I going to do that? And I'm going to be honest, I didn't write the workshop first because I pretty much knew a lot of things that I would organize, but I wanted to see if I could sell it because it was a recession and money was tight at the time. I had lost a big client that put me in a financial bind, and I said, I got to know I can sell this thing. So I wrote up a flyer and mailed it out and started seeing if people would sign up, and nobody did, but by then I was so intent on it that I started calling the people that I sent the mailing to and said, so did you see about my new workshop? And they went, oh yeah, I think it looks, well, you ought to come. I just started selling them, So when I had 12 people, which was as many chairs as I had in my office, I had 12 people enrolled. they're going to show up in 3 weeks. So then I wrote the program. And so I did it on the side for a long time. And then I just said, this is my life. My whole life has been training me to do this. I just have to go for it. I didn't know if I could make a living doing it, but I knew I just had to price it right. And then I had to get on the phone and go to networking meetings and sell the hell out of it. So I did.
And then you started writing books.
Yeah. The books didn't happen till later.
Uh-huh.
People would say, oh, you should write a book. And I would go, oh, no. I was a but queen. Yeah, but I'm not ready. Yeah, but I don't think I can do that. Yeah, but, And then finally one day it was time. I could see that my workshop was really helping people, but I had liked small groups, and I wasn't going to be Tony Robbins and do thousands of people. So I had some tools that worked, so I should put them out there so maybe I could write them down. And so then I did it. Yeah. Because I had a reason and a purpose.
That's awesome. Yeah, we know more than we think we know a lot of times. The same thing with my matchmaking. I was working for a company for 7 years, and then when I ended up leaving because of a personality clash, and it was a recession, and I didn't plan to go out on my own because I was in my late 40s, and I'd never had any business training. I thought, and then my husband said, you know how to do this in your sleep. You know what to do. And I just replicated it, did it at home, and people started calling me to sign up, and once I said, I'll do it, and I've never looked back. So I love being my own boss now. So if we can take, in that book, No More Mondays by Dan Miller, now it's No More Dreaded Mondays. He says if you have a skill that you're working for someone else, but you can take it and freelance it, you automatically get a raise and work less hours. Because you're keeping the money for yourself.
And let me tell you something about this, because this is a piece that I put in my new book, From Worry to Wealthy, that you talked about, that's specifically for women in business. And I had seen an article by Susie Orman in O Magazine. She has a monthly column, and this column was about age-appropriate expenditures. And this woman wrote in and said, I'm 48 years old. I've been saving my money because I've always wanted to have a cake decorating business. And I have 9 months of expenses put aside. I'm ready to launch. Should I do it? And Susie Orman said, well, if you were in your 20s, I'd say go ahead. But the 40s and 50s are the most important times for you to be contributing to your 401k. So don't do it. And I was screaming. And a friend of mine had posted it on Facebook, and everybody that I knew was a business owner was going, what bad advice! But Susie is speaking to the worker bee who's 30 or 40 years in this job that they hate, making that payment so that they can retire.
Yeah.
Retirement is not a goal. Retirement is like, the average retiree watches 49 hours of television a week. All right? Let that sink in.
Right.
That's watching somebody else live a life.
Yeah, the people you're watching on TV are making millions. Exactly.
I know. Saving a lot of money and living off of it in your later years is a strategy, and it's going to work for some people, but it's never going to work for me because I like spending money too much, and saving isn't my best game. But boy, can I create money. I have lists of things that I could do to make money if push came to shove, I'm never going to retire.
Well, here's a question then. So I'm trying to, my husband and I are both putting money away. What if, so we love to, I'll probably do something, for many, many years too. I'm not planning to retire, but things could happen. I took a fall a couple weeks ago, flat on my back in the kitchen, and I'm still in horrible pain. What if something happens to you? What if you get an illness or Alzheimer's or something, and you need some money in the bank? Because how are you going to, especially with the awful health care and all that, right? So that's what's in my mind, the reason to put a large chunk, as largest as I can, so that what if I live to be 90? I have no children, no siblings. My husband will probably be passed away. I'll be all alone and maybe can't work. So that's my strategy of piling.
Absolutely. You want to have money set aside, and I'm not saying that. But I'm saying this idea of the millions that you have to have set aside in order to make sure you're going to live till 100 and be able to survive at 100. Well, this is partly why you have friends and family around you that are going to help out a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, I won't have that. I won't have that. I'll be all on my own with the dog.
Right. But here's the thing. You don't want to get to retirement and then be afraid to spend money because you might run out.
Right.
If people don't live as long as they like to say that they do, what percentage of the American public would you say is age 65 or over?
Well, I don't know, but isn't it like the average American woman and man live to be about 78 to 80 or something?
Okay, so what percentage of the American public would you guess? Just guess.
Oh, that's over 65? Gosh. 60? I don't know. There's a lot of older people now.
I know. I've heard there's so many older people and we're all living longer and everything. 13%.
Really? 13%?
Yeah.
Of the population is over 65?
Yes.
Wow.
It's
well, I would say that's people, our country, I mean, we're the most obese country in the world, or number 1 or 2, and people don't take care of themselves, and the GMOs and all that stuff.
Yeah, now life expectancy actually went down last year.
Yes, it goes down because people are not taking care of themselves. So exactly.
But see, you gotta look at it. 29% of the American public dies before they ever reach 65.
Right. So your point is go for it. Go for it and do what you want.
You want to have balance and you want to live your life while you have it.
Yes, exactly.
And multiple streams of income help. Like I have book royalties that come in every year. I'm training other people to be financial stress reduction coaches, and I get an annual renewal license from that.
Yeah.
So I have things that will happen that don't depend on my showing up.
Yes, that's very important. I'm doing that too. So I've written some books. I don't, that's more like a calling card. It puts me as an expert. I get on a lot of shows. I have my healing Reiki I can do. I think I'm going to be teaching Reiki in the new year. I'm matchmaking. I'm doing my YouTube show for fun. So yeah, just keep adding little things here and there, and they help those multiple streams of income. And you're having fun. Sometimes I have stress on my job with my clients, and I'm like, I get to film a video today and talk to Chellie and have a blast and be creative and edit the video and help people with info. So it's good. Yeah. All right. So what's our next tip?
Okay. So there's one more, number 10. Buy the 2-gallon drink at the movies so they can get the free refill and then spend the whole movie in the restroom.
Yeah. Well, besides the spending on the drink and wasting the time in the bathroom, those drinks are really bad for our health.
Yeah. That little thing. I used to think Diet Coke was my savior. I just love Diet Coke and I'm not getting fat. Well, yeah, it makes your body think it's sugar, and so you still get fat. Interesting.
Yes. It is the chemicals. The chemicals
all those chemicals are horrible. So
so anybody who is still on drinking diet sodas and don't really realize, because sometimes I'll have friends who drink them and I'll want to tell. I thought, but they must know. So if you don't know how bad diet drinks are, Google it and check it out and enlighten yourself, and maybe you'll try to get off it. So get off it.
It's true. So anyway, when I did the Dr. Laura show, it was really, really fun, and my book wasn't out, so it didn't mean anything in book sales then. But let me just tie up the story.
Okay.
Several years after that, I guess that was in 2000, and my book, The Wealthy Spirit, came out in 2002. And I started getting emails from people saying, oh, I like your book, and that was so fun. I saved them. So I get an email from this woman who says, you've written a remarkable book, and I'd love to talk to you and connect you with the radio show I produce. And she was the Dr. Laura radio show producer.
Yeah. Oh.
So I called her up, of course. And I said, oh, so you knew I was on the Dr. Laura television show? She said, no. And I said, and so did you get the book from Dr. Laura? No. And I sent a package PR over there. Did you get that? No. I said, well, how did you find out about the book? She said, oh, a friend of mine gave it to me.
Oh, my gosh.
So she came and took my class. We became great friends. And then she was trying to get Dr. Laura on her radio show, had a book of the week. And she was trying to get my book in front of her, and it wasn't happening at the time. It wasn't right, or she didn't pay attention or whatever. And then Dr. Laura complained one day, all of these people, and I recommend their books, and they never mention me in their books. And she goes, would you like to see somebody whose book mentions you on 2 pages? Because I had written this story on 2 pages of The Wealthy Spirit.
Yeah.
She showed them to her. She said, okay. And my book, The Wealthy Spirit, was a Dr. Laura book selection of the week.
Oh, fantastic.
And she did a 2-minute rave review. And I sold a lot of books because of that.
Yeah. Oh, that is so fun. Yeah, you just now be open and keep staying creative and say yes to things. No, yeah, buts. Say,
right,
hey,
exactly.
yeah, why not? I said my new mantra for 2017 will be, yeah, why not?
Yes. Why not? Let's do
why
that.
Not me?
Let's give it a shot.
Why not me?
I have a friend who has the best line. She says, when I'm about to take a risk, I consider the downside. If it's not death, I do it.
Oh, I love it. Oh, and I want to end the show with a quote that I got off your website. Money in the bank is like toothpaste in the tube. Easy to take out, hard to put back. By Earl Wilson.
That's the truth.
So true. So, like, I have these online bank accounts, one with Ally and then one with Fidelity and IRA, and I put it there, and I do not touch it. That is, and it's making some interest. It's just there. And then later in 20, 30 years, I just keep adding and it'll be there. It's online. It's harder to just go. I can't go and just take it out. You have to go online, ask it.
Do it automatically, and just keep doing it. Have it like your car payment or your rent payment or your mortgage payment, an automatic at the top of the budget. Pay yourself
first. That's what I've heard. Pay yourself first, not your bills.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, well, thanks for those 10 stupid things. That was fantastic. And you guys leave us like this video if you liked it so people can find it, and let us know some of the stupid things that you've done or that you've rectified or that your money goals for 2017. And we'd love to hear about it. And take care, and blessings, everybody. Bye. Bye, Chellie. Thank you.
Goodbye. Thank you.